Cast into the pit of a mundane existence, did he fall but by his own pretense, this most trusted archangel of all, whose beauty to so enthrall came with the talent to bestow a light that beamed with the spectacle of snow, and a countenance that truly glistened, to where even the seraphim listened, in relaying unto the Lord's ear a fervent message he held dear, which proclaimed his glory to be his alone, until the one who would challenge his throne would see fit to embark on a path that personified the realm of his wrath. And so it begins, the first verse to the first act, found on the first page of my new book, Gethsemane. This passage could not be more fitting, since it really marks the inception of our birth, with the onus of time to accompany us on this everlasting, oftentimes challenging journey that we know to be life.
Gethsemane is an epic poem composed as an ode that is divided into 148 verses that read like sonnets. Each sonnet consists of sentences that are no longer than 12 syllables in length, and each sentence ends with a unique rhyme, resulting in a rare linguistic arrangement that is accentuated by its melodic beauty. The story that unfolds over the course of 3 acts is a story inspired in between the fine print of biblical lore. The first act tells the tale of Lucifer and his fall from grace, and his purgatory as a wanderer that begins in the Garden of Eden, serving as a prelude to the book of Genesis. The second act tells of the unsung story of the sons of God, we know to be angels, who fell in league with the devil to love and copulate with the daughters of man. These angels, who came to be known as the Watchers, defiled the will of God, and in so doing were condemned to hell as demons for spawning unearthly hybrids that brought about the great flood of Noah.
The third and final act takes into account the history of sin staged in a modern setting, where the perfect bond that we perceive between a man and a woman is not what it seems. And the climax that ensues brings to light all that we tend to erase from our memories when our fate turns against us.
History is a romantic canvas, and as a writer I seek to enlighten our minds by examining the broader inseams of its texture for the sake of discovery. Artists over the centuries have understood this in capturing motifs that influence our hopes and fears. Art that embodies the eternal struggle between good and evil is no different. But what they fail to elicit is how the struggle came to be in the first place.
Gethsemane abandons such stereotypes from a perspective that begs to better understand the reason for temptation and why it is we're susceptible to sin. But like the main protagonist in my book, we can't help but fall victim to our lascivious impulses, even though what it is we covet is inconsequential to death.
Yet despite our propensity to sin, do we not share at least a solemn desire in wanting to right our wrongs for our hope at redemption? We do when we experience remorse or take pride in ourselves for wanting to be virtuous. But who are we to judge? Within this very question resides the true irony in life, an irony that is as sobering as it is tragic for all of us. But with judgment and error comes a reckoning that leads us to a path of redemption, a path that takes us through a point of no return, where the burden of living often outweighs our purpose for living, as was the case with Christ when he asked the Lord to remove him that burden that fateful night in Gethsemane. In a way, we've all been there, or will find ourselves there when fate calls. My book has been an auspicious roadmap to that place, one that is bound to remain with you long after its pages ceases to turn in place of a new and indelible perspective. So immerse your imagination, if you will, and unearth yourself within the pages of my new book, Gethsemane.